VC Vanita Chowdhury, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Azim, and congratulations on this great job you keep doing to inspire others and many people. So I'm very grateful and excited to be here with you today.
Thank you, Vanita. Thank you very much. It's a great honor for me to have you on my show as well.
If you ask me in a scale of 1 to 10, I would definitely say 10 on 10 because the topic that you chose today is meaningful relationship. And if you really want to find the meaning to any relationship, they need to be emotional connect. Otherwise, it becomes just transactional. And then there is absolutely no meaning. It can end up becoming robotic, very transactional. And I have also seen relationships like that. Like I know a couple who live together but haven't spoken to each other for many years. So, then when I look around, there's absolutely no emotion. They're just like two people living in one room or one home. So, when you look at meaningful relationships, without a doubt, I think emotions plays a very key, or rather, I would say, the central role where everything else revolves around it. Having a bad day and two, three things are worrying me, I will actually step out of that zone, maybe go have a cup of coffee, or just take the phone and talk to some random friend of mine from college or someone, just chat it out and then come back. But I never ever, I think, yelled at anyone that I remember in the last um, decade and more. The second thing is if I had a bad day and I was writing an email, the easiest thing I used to do was write everything into that email and put it into a draft. I used to feel so calm and peaceful. Azim, there are two things which I would like to share. For the first 10 years of my life, I really thought that there is a professional life and there's a personal life, and you need that balance of work and life. But to be very honest with you, in the last, I think, 15 years being in L&D and reading a lot of books and connecting with a lot of human beings who have evolved as great leaders and speaking to them, connecting with them, I have realized that actually these words of personal life, professional life is something that we create to make ourselves feel good. End of the day, let me tell you, you're just one human being, you're one person. Okay. I personally haven't figured out that switch or the button where you can play around like day and night. It can't be because emotions hijack you so badly at times that you cannot use a switch or a cap or a button to switch off and switch in saying, oh, I'm done with the office, I'm down stepping. It can't happen. So one of the things I also talk about in my leadership programs and when I do coaching on one-on-one to senior leaders is to try to tell them that stop putting this cap of personal life and professional life. Look at it holistically. You're one human being and you have relationships. You have work relationships, you have personal relationships, and you have friends and community. Now, it's up to you how you want to, take care of it. Like, for example, in fact, Azim, you got a great question. And yes, it is, you can put me in the spot in trouble because many of my leaders, when I do emotional intelligence coaching and Janos emotional intelligence third competency is about authenticity of being, open and vulnerable. I get a lot of them. I think more than 95% of my leaders asking me the same question saying, wouldn't then people take advantage of me? Wouldn't then they know things about me and then, I'm so exposed, you use the right word. So there are two, three things that I would like to share on this aspect. One is, of course, you got to be sensible. You can't be stupid enough to go and share all your personal secrets to everybody on earth and then say I've been an open book and vulnerable. I think what this question really means is if you have decided, and that's the question, please underline this, okay? If you have decided that this relationship is important to me, be at work, maybe with your boss or with one of your senior partner or with your stakeholder or at home, with one of your distant relative with whom you had some tiff or whatever, if you have chosen that this relationship is important, it matters, and I need to really build on it, then the first step you start doing is being a little more open about you. And what do you mean by open? Again, it's not about the secrets. I think it's more about being authentic. For example, if I am frustrated while talking to you right now, and you are important to me, then I can share with you saying that, Azim, currently I'm feeling too frustrated with too many things happening around me. Just give me a few seconds, let me sort out, and let's continue with this call. Now that's being authentic. Authenticity here also means how okay you are to state or share your feelings and thoughts in a way that people understand you. I guess everybody takes advantage. Even our own children take advantage of us. So what's a big deal? So I think when you are dealing with people, some things are bound to happen. But let me ask you, if you're dealing with 100 people, even if 5 people take advantage, aren't you building great trusted relationship with 95? So give it a game, give it a choice, and look out how you can really be authentic. The first essence of a meaningful relationship is there's a purpose and there is trust to it. If there is no purpose of a relationship, then it is definitely not going to be meaningful. Like, I can still come in the morning, I can be your boss, I can tell you things to be done, and I can leave for the day. But when does this go beyond it and that is one of the things I tell my people, right? You can be a manager forever in life. What does a manager do? A manager comes, gives instructions, manages the job, manages the performance, and delivers it. Now, you might not have people with you, you might not build loyalty, you might not build great trusted relationship, but you can retire and be happy. However, if you choose to become a leader, and I always ask people, when do you become a leader? Not by designations, not by big roles that you get. Actually, you become a leader even when you have one person following you by their own will. Okay, they choose to follow you is when you become a leader. They either want to follow you because of your behavior, they want to follow you because of your performance, or they want to follow you because it makes sense. When on their own they start following you is when you become a leader. And that's why a child also can be a leader. Okay, that just not matter with the designations. If you really decided to become a leader, then definitely it has to be meaningful relationships. Transactional would not work, because if you want to really be that leader, then you need to have great conversations. You need to also encourage conflicts. You can't run away from conflicts. You need to bring out bad behaviors in open and have a conversation. So you need to have that trust that people are not going to, think of you. So trust, confidence in people relationship, openness, vulnerability, and these are the things that will help you move from transactional to meaningful. Like I again say, be mindful. Not every relationship at work need to be meaningful until you choose to. So you can again choose which are the relationships that you want to make it meaningful and start investing on your time. In fact, Stephen Covey talks about this beautiful concept called relationship bank account. Okay, relationship. What can you credit? What can you debit? Tip is, sort your own inside, because any relationship, any meaningful journey starts from inside. So it's an inside out approach. If you are calm, if you are happy inside, if you are sorting out your emotion, which we call self-awareness, then I think awareness of others becomes so much easier and connected. So I think one of the things these days we miss a lot because maybe of the technology gadgets is we don't spend quality me time. That is, no music, no audio books. These are all not the me time. If you're able to hear your own breathing, if you're able to hear your own self, okay, I think that is the quality time that you need to spend first with yourself. If you're able to do that, it automatically transcends into other relationships. And you will see a huge difference happening at home and at workplace with the people whom you interact when you do this. You can do it either in the morning or when you go to bed before the day. Start listening to your own breathing and see how it is such a lovely music by itself. That's the first one. Second one is about time. There is 1,440 minutes in a day. So 1,440 minutes is credited into your account every day. And so there's no way you can say, I don't have time. Okay. So you need to really make time if you want to have meaningful relationships. And many times I hear parents say, I don't know how my son or daughter grew up. I was hardly there. And I say, really? What were you doing then? So the point is, you need to be very clear that what you really do now will really benefit in your relationships much later. So sort first yourself, then try to help other people in your home and office. So meditation or breathing time or your own, if you don't want to do anything, just sit quietly with your own self, can you, for 5 minutes? And then you would see the difference. And then quality time and conversations. I think these 3 tips I would love to give it to our listeners is first with yourself, time, and then conversations. Have a nice cup of conversations all the time. It's interesting.